I'm going to take you really quickly through just how to make a quick new prop, and we're going to keep it really simple. So we're just going to do like a snowman guy here. I have some art ready for it. It is something that Emily made. So it's just a little snowman guy. He's kind of sad. He's kind of a bummer, but we love him anyway. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to copy this because I kind of made him earlier. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to find I'm going to delete that entry real quick here. Yes, delete the snowman. We don't need him. Okay, so I'm going to go and I'm going to create a new prop. So I'll go to the PropSDK. I will click File, New Prop, and I'm going to name it. And you can change this later. I will have this checkbox. Users will not have this checkbox. This just basically means that we tag this as official content. And then I'm going to add this description. And so now we have this new empty object. And since I labeled it snowman and I was logged in as Endstar, it put it under assets, user data, my account name, props, snowman. So since I already had a snowman folder with stuff in it, it just automatically put that stuff there, which is really convenient for me because that means I can just go and drag this guy in. So now I've got my snowman, and I have some things that I need to set up here. I want him to be open source because I want other users to be able to use him. I can snap an icon, and this is a little trick I like to do. I'm going to rotate him this way and then snap the icon and then undo. So that little camera just took a better picture of him. If you want to get really crazy, you can actually just go in here and add some lights and stuff, and then you'll notice that the icon actually reflects that. And so I might dress him up a little bit and then delete that, and then, or actually, yeah, go like this and then delete that. So he's set up correctly, but our little snapped icon that we did is nice. So it's just a nice little trick. So a couple things we need to do. We need to choose what his base type is. And if we choose static prop, which is what I recommend most new users do, you're going to just get this message that says, hey, changing this prop to a static prop will remove its script and its components. This may result in a loss of data. Are you sure? That just means we aren't really going to be able to add any of these things to it. This is literally just a static object. So I'm going to say yes. That's totally fine with me. And then I'm going to set this up here. This is basically the cells for building. And when I do this, basically I'm saying I want a location at 000 and I want a location at 010. I also want to say that I don't want this to be navigable by AI, and I do want this to be blocking for placing objects and other things like that. So blocking basically means, hey, I want to put this down here and I want to build terrain. It's going to go, oh, well, I can't put terrain here because that's blocking. So I do want to say, hey, blocking, unblocking, and I want to say that you cannot step on the snowman's head. I don't feel like we need to punish him anymore. He looks so bummed out. So that basically sets it up so that when I place this guy down, he knows that he takes up 2 cells, and those 2 cells are not navigable by AI, and those 2 cells are going to be things that take up space in the editor. So that's pretty good. We're also in a good position here because static prop, really there's nothing else to do to it. So now all I really have to do is just press export, and it's going to go through the process. So you'll notice here that it's going to build for Windows, OS X, Android, iOS, and Linux. We have to do this because we have cross-compatibility. We want to be able to have people that are on mobile and people that are on Mac and PC all be able to see the same assets and do that kind of stuff. Later, we're going to be doing things like, hey, this asset's too expensive. We're not going to show it on mobile or something. We're going to show maybe the lowest LOD, things like that. So once all of that's done, it's going to go through and it's going to build a Unity package that contains all these things for bundling, and then it's going to bundle for each one of the target builds, and then it's going to upload the icon, the package, and then it should be complete. And so I'll go ahead and skip ahead there and show you how I can use that in the actual game. All right, so now we just get into Endstar, and I'm just going to do it in the editor since I'm in staging anyway. You would obviously just run this as normal. So I'm going to go into a level and go to edit, and I'm just going to load right in. And you guys will get a sneak peek of some cool stuff coming up here. Okay, so we're in our level, and you'll notice here we've got some cool snow, which is why we have the snowman in general. And since our snowman's a prop, you can just access our prop by going to this, and instead of creating a new prop, we're just going to search for a new prop. It is a prop we have published, or we have uploaded but not published. So it will not appear to other users, which is fine. That's what we're okay with right now. So I'm going to go to owned, and I'm going to look around here. I have a bunch of different props. I've got this lights, small trees, blah blah blah. I've got our snowman, and you see it's called Snowman. He's version 0, and there's a certain pathetic quality to this sad little guy, but he's trying his best. So that's our description. We're going to expand that later to include other things as well. So I'm going to go and add our little buddy to the library, and here he is. And he's in our library, he's selected, he's good to go, and I'm just going to place him in position just like normal. And then we're going to go ahead and click play, and he should work just as we have set him up. I see a problem here. Yes, I did not do anything related to collision, but that's okay because this system allows us to export over top of our props and our tile sets and get revisions directly from that same prop type. So as you saw, we didn't have any collision on that guy, but that's okay because we can always just upload another, revision to this person, or well, snow person. So I'm going to go ahead and just do that sort of like I normally would in Unity. And I'm going to use a capsule just because that's a little bit nicer. We don't want to have a lot of different compound collider objects, things like that. So, and I will be a little bit inefficient here and put it under a child object. It's probably not like the best thing in the world to do. It's nice to have a flat hierarchy, but at this point it's not really going to be that expensive. So I'm going to get rid of the mesh component like normal, don't need a mesh filter, just want to have this, and I'm just going to kind of approximate it. It's like, yeah, it's not that big a deal. We just don't want the player to like really be able to interact with it too much, but just be able to kind of jump on it, and it's like approximately that's fine, right? We don't need perfect collision. We want cheaper collision because of launching on mobile, things like that. So the only other thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to add what we have here is a collider info thing that lets it's a component that lets us choose what layer to set this to at runtime, because setting the layer here, we don't have any concept of what the layers are going to be in Endstar, right? And that may change, and we don't want to have to continue to worry about this. So what we did here is we built this. This will always be up to date, and I'll say, okay, I actually just want this to be default, and once that loads into the game's going to go, what's your collider info? Okay, I'm going to put you on the correct layer in Endstar, which we have a lot more of these in Endstar. So easy peasy, now we have collision, and we can go back to the PropSDK tool, always save your project and things like that. These are prefabs, and then you can just hit export again. And we're back. So basically, you'll notice there are a couple little changes here. I added a little tiny tree in there, and I was editing while this thing was exporting. It exported successfully, and so I can go up to my game library, and you'll notice actually a lot of these need to be updated, but I'm going to search for my snowman, and look, my snowman has an update. So let's go in there. I have to say apply version. Yes. Okay, so once you apply that version, now the snowman will be the new guy who has the collision. You can stand on top. Perfect. And yeah, that's kind of the workflow for props.